We have seen the story in movies, video games, and science fiction. If humanity ever wipes itself out in a global nuclear war, the only creatures left crawling through the radioactive ashes of our cities will be cockroaches. But does actual science back up this indestructible superbug legend? If a modern nuclear warhead detonated right now, could a simple household pest really outlive us? To find the truth, we have to subject them to the ultimate scientific test by dropping a hypothetical bomb. To definitively answer if they outlive us, we must strip away the pop culture fiction and subject the roach to the escalating physical stages of a real apocalypse. Let's start at ground zero. When a thermonuclear weapon explodes, the core temperature reaches tens of millions of degrees within a fraction of a millisecond. That is literally hotter than the center of our sun. A massive thermal pulse flashes outward, instantly vaporizing concrete, melting steel, and turning everything biological into pure atoms. If a cockroach is anywhere within this immediate blast radius, its biological resilience means absolutely nothing. It is incinerated instantly. At the epicenter, raw temperature defeats the legend. To find the origin of this myth, we have to look past the initial flash to what comes after. Miles away from ground zero, a lethal, invisible wave of gamma radiation blankets the Earth. For a human being, a radiation dose of 400 to 1,000 rads is fatal within a few days. Rads are a standard unit used to measure absorbed doses of ionizing radiation. At that level, the exposure destroys our DNA and our body's ability to heal. Yet, in controlled laboratory experiments, scientists discovered an anomaly. Cockroaches were surviving doses of 10,000 rads. Some species even survived up to 100,000 rads. These insects endure a dose that would kill a human 100 times over. They possess a massive biological advantage. Radiation biology operates on a strict rule. It inflicts the most structural damage to living cells when they are actively dividing and replicating. Human cells, like our hair, skin, and blood, are constantly dividing. We are perpetually vulnerable to genetic destruction. Cockroaches possess a distinct biological safeguard. Their cells only divide during a specific cycle called molting, which happens about once a week. This extremely slow cycle guarantees that for 6 out of 7 days, a cockroach's cellular structure is entirely dormant. If a massive wave of nuclear radiation hits while the roach is in its resting phase, the radiation simply passes through without heavy damage. It literally sleeps through the invisible killer. This incredible cellular pacing guarantees they survive the fallout. But escaping the radiation does not mean they inherit the Earth. The bomb brings a secondary, global killer. Millions of tons of ash and smoke injected into the atmosphere. This atmospheric pollution blocks out the sun, plunging global temperatures into a deep, dark freeze, known as nuclear winter. This sudden freeze exposes the cockroach's greatest vulnerability. They are cold-blooded insects that originated in the tropics. They possess no internal mechanism to regulate their own body heat. In a freezing world, that biological trait is fatal. Modern cockroaches rely entirely on human civilization. They need us to build artificially warm habitats and generate rotting garbage for their sustenance. Without humans providing heat and food, the surviving roaches would succumb to the environment. Within a few months, they would simply freeze solid and starve in the dark. Nature is tough, but extreme physics is undefeated. The immortal cockroach myth is entirely false, because their survival on Earth is ultimately dependent on ours.